Now, the third thing, in which typically is what happens when you're dealing with a toxic person when you set a boundary, is they drop off on their own. Toxic people do not like boundaries, they hate it. It's almost like peace and balance. Hey, 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 y'all. Your girl Mystic Moon here. Hey, little stars. Y'all, welcome back to another episode of She Sound Off, where we heal your spirit, practice self-transformation, and learn to live in our highest consciousness, in the highest version of ourselves. I am so glad I'm able to sit down and do this video for y'all. Y'all got no clue. Like, it's crazy in my life right now, with the newborn, with working full time, with running a business, with co-founding of a sisterhood, Women of Alignment. Whoa, for my Women of Alignment. Whew. It's never a dull moment, but I'm grateful. And I'm also grateful for myself, because it takes like commitment to carve out me time. It really does. And the fact that I am doing it and I'm getting this shit done and I am winning, y'all, I'm talking about, I'm just so proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. If you're not proud of me, I'm proud of me. Okay. And that is a fact. So we're going to talk about part 2 to toxic relationships, how to end a toxic relationship when you are with a toxic person. We're going to be folding laundry. We're going to be following notes, and we're going to be multitasking, right? So last time we talked about, in part 1, we talked about how to end a toxic relationship with a non-toxic person. And yes, it is possible to be in a toxic ass relationship with someone who's not toxic. I've been there. Go back and watch that last video though, because we're going to talk about ending it with a toxic person. And you know, when I was making my notes for this video, I was like, in my head, I was going on and on, because I've been with toxic people. Hell, I've been toxic. Like, I can't even sit up here in front and act like I ain't in that category. I have been in a space where I was hurting, where I was just broken, where I was traumatized, where I wasn't on my healing journey. And so I was at one point the toxic person. So I know this topic all too well. So how do you know if this person is toxic? First of all, the person is not good to you, directly or indirectly. Now let's talk about that for a minute. You have people that'll come into your life that literally want to use you. And you know they're using you. It's very apparent, right? They're just taking anything that they can get from you. So those are the direct people. But what I want to address is the indirect people who really don't mess with you like that. The people who is not good to you indirectly. And what they would do is they would appear on the outside that they rock with you, that they support you, that they love you, that they're here for your elevation, that they are just here for you in general. Meanwhile, on the back end, right, they're wishing that you don't make it. Like, they're talking about you behind your back, or they're low-key hating on you, pretty much doing things to sabotage your moments, your situations. They're just on the back end, anything that they can do to sabotage you, your growth, your elevation, your abundance, anything that can hurt you, right? And they're not going to do it in your face, right? It's something that you have to find out that they're doing. Is they cause a lot of drama. They cause a lot of chaos. Every time you turn around, it's some type of drama that's associated with this person. And no matter what you do, or how you try to fix the situation, or how you try to be the peacemaker, it's always going to be drama. And they're going to always pull you into their shit. Just know that. You cannot sustain a healthy relationship with a toxic person, because they're going to always somehow pull you into their shit. Toxic people want other toxic people around them. They never have anything good to say. Toxic people never have anything good to say. I don't care how beautiful or good the circumstance or the situation is. They don't have nothing nice to say. Or here's my favorite one. Yeah, that's nice, but oh yeah, you look pretty, but oh yeah, that is amazing, but what they said after that but is how they really feel. And a toxic person, a low vibrational person, only knows how to pick out the negative stuff. So no matter how good the situation is, they're going to find something negative to say about it. That rubs off on you eventually. They are very, very aggressive and argumentative. And whenever you have a conversation with the toxic person, it always starts out with good intentions and ends in an argument. And they don't back down. They gaslight you. They lie. What do I have here? They bend the truth. Okay. Or they try to hide important facts from you, which is the same thing as lying to me. So a toxic person will gaslight and manipulate a situation because it's all about them. It has to be all about them. It has to be about them being right. It has to be about them being on top, better than you. It's just, you're never going to win by being in a relationship with a toxic person. They don't take accountability for anything that happens. It's never their fault. It's always your fault. Isn't that something? Every time it's my fault. You don't have any accountability in the situation, to the situation. Everything is just on me. You're with a toxic person and you're in a toxic relationship with a toxic person. Okay? A toxic person will never apologize. And if they do, they're doing it for selfish reasons. So when I was with my toxic person, the apologies never felt sincere. So I never really believed it because it was bullshit. It was just, you're trying to say whatever you can say just to get back in my good graces, and you don't really mean it. Toxic people are going to be overly critical of everything you say, everything you do, and of the relationship, and pretty much of you. They're going to be overly critical, and they are emotionally immature. Now, that's the last thing I have on my list, other than they're dangerous, or could be dangerous. But having no emotional maturity means there's going to always be fighting, again, arguing, negativity. You will not grow with this person because of all of these things that I just listed. And the last thing I have on there is dangerous. Now, I want to really stress that if you are in a relationship with a toxic person and things have gotten physically dangerous, then that's a whole nother conversation topic. But what I will say is you want to get out of that situation as soon as possible, because not only will you not win mentally, emotionally, you won't win physically. Okay? These people have a mission, and their mission is dark energy. And it can get real bad. So I strongly suggest that if you're watching this video and you are with a toxic person and they are dangerous, they put their hands on you, they threaten you, abuse you in any way, please exit that situation. Please, please, please. How to end the toxic relationships. First, I want to stress to you that it is not going to be easy. It may be easy for some people, but if you've been in this toxic relationship for a while, it's not going to be an easy thing to do. It's going to take work. I remember when I decided to leave the toxic relationship with my toxic person, I went back. Actually quite a few times because I wasn't happy within myself. I didn't feel good within myself. I just didn't have the confidence to stand on my own 2 feet. And when I did get the confidence, I left indefinitely. 100%. So it's not going to be easy, but it is doable. Figure out what your worth is. Is this what you deserve in life? Do you deserve, is this all you deserve? To be with this person who constantly beats you down emotionally, make you feel shitty, make you feel unworthy? You are their emotional punching bag. Is that what you deserve? Because let me tell you something. You deserve better. You deserve beautiful, amazing abundance. It's time for you to be heavy on the self-love tip. Heavy on the self-love. It's all about you. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. I say that in all my videos. So now it's time for you to choose you. Take your power back from that situation. And it lies within you. You gave up your power and you can simply take it back. Choosing you means choosing peace. And choosing peace probably means to just walk away, so that you can start attracting the people that is going to help you in your elevation, help you learn what your self-worth is. I often think about this quote by Ayanna Van Zant. Okay, she said, I don't get to tell you how to love me. I get to see how you love and choose whether I want to participate in it or not. So this comes onto my other how to end is to make a choice. It comes down to a choice. And I know that saying that sounds extremely easy to do, but it's challenging because I've been there. Like I said, when I was with my toxic person, I went back multiple times. But at some point, I had to say, okay, I have to choose me because I am completely unhappy. And I don't want to continue my life to be unhappy. I was unhappy for years. And I was ready to be done with that. I was ready to see what the other side looked like, to see what waking up every day in a space where I'm just overjoyed with love and peace and abundance and quietness and stillness in my life. I never experienced that ever until I chose to create it. So it all comes down to a choice, and that choice is to choose you again. Um, Start with boundaries. When you are trying to distance yourself and move around, when you're dealing with children, when you're dealing with your parents, when you're dealing with a business partner who you have a legal obligation to, when you're dealing with your husband or your wife, you can't just cut them off like that. Start with boundaries. Three things, one of three things are going to happen. Either they're going to navigate those boundaries and try to find a way around it, and they're still going to be on their toxic shit, just in a different way. That's one. Two, they will respect your boundaries, and that's when you know that person, maybe I can grow with this person, maybe they can change and we can change and this relationship can change, maybe. Okay, but give it time, because a lot of times a toxic person, they can adjust to the boundary only for a little bit, only until it's starting to get in the way of what they want. You remember, a toxic person is all about them, and as soon as it stops being about them, then that's when they have a problem. Now, the third thing, in which typically is what happens when you're dealing with a toxic person when you set a boundary, is they drop off on their own. Toxic people do not like boundaries. They hate it. It's almost like you see in the movies when people are performing exorcism and they throw the water, they put the cross, and they it's supposed to draw out the demon. That's literally how setting a boundary to a toxic person does. That's what it do to them. They can't stand it. And if you stick to your boundaries, you stand strong, draw that line in sand and say, this is my boundary, it will not be crossed. And each time they try to cross it, give them a consequence. Like if you don't stand, if you try to cross this boundary that I've set, I can no longer do A, B, and C around you. I can no longer talk to you in this way. We're going to have to, we need some space. We need to start drawing up a different deal when it comes down to your business partner, because this isn't working for me. Draw you a boundary, and they'll probably end up falling off on their own. Trust me on that. Like I said, that is mostly what happens when you're in a toxic relationship with a toxic person. You set a boundary, and almost always they end up falling off. It does take time, but the more you stand strong on your boundary, the more they'll hate it. The more they'll be like, this space isn't for me. It sure isn't. Okay. Make it about you. Take your power back. Take your confidence back. Take your energy back. Take your life back, and end that toxic relationship. It is in you and it is on you. It's not on the other person. Okay, that is it. That is all. All of it is a work in progress. All of it is going to take time. Don't rush yourself through anything in life. I used to do that a lot. It didn't get me anywhere. Take your time. This is time for you to learn you, to grow within yourself. It's not about the other person, right? So the next part 3 to this video is how to end the toxic relationship with yourself. Typically, when you end that toxic relationship with yourself, you're going to start attracting exactly those people, the people who are non-toxic, because you shattered that old version of you, that toxic person in you, or those toxic behaviors in you. So all you're going to start attracting is the light, the lighter side, the positive side, the high vibrational stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe to She Sounds Off, or don't. If this video has helped you, leave a comment. Let me know how you feel, how you're doing, what's going on. And stay tuned for how to end a toxic toxic relationship with yourself. All right, you guys, remember self-preservation is the first law of nature. Love yourself before you love anything, anybody else in this world. And lead with your heart, and everything else will soon follow. Until next time, peace out. Bye, little stars.